Alright, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. So today we got the Made in Heaven on the back. I believe this was her second, third tattoo. This definitely was a nice size, and what we used on this tattoo was a 7 round liner and a 3 round liner. So what I'll say, you learn as you go, you continue to learn. Even I'm continuing to learn as I go. Because the more you do something, like I say, the more repetitive it get. And that also make things become like secondhand nature. You get so used to it to where it's like riding a bike. And for anyone that don't know, I start out all the time 7 round liner with the 7 volts on my machine. This is my main dedicated liner, the Ambition Ninja. If y'all ain't check it out, yes, it's a 4 stroke machine, so definitely check it out. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and speed this up. Like I said, it's repetition, repetition, same thing. Going with my 7 round liner. Like make sure I block out all the lettering, things like that. Then I come back, tighten it up. So my plan was to go ahead and do the heaven first, just get to heaven and come back with my 3 round liner. Because doing it this way is a lot easier, less painful on the client. Most people always tell me when I outline the whole thing and then I come back, it's definitely more sore. The skin is sore, tight, so it's going to be more pain. So it's best to try to stay in one area. That's why I decided to just do heaven, 7 round liner first, then come back with the 3 round liner, tighten it up. And one thing for sure I want to say, you gotta trust your stencil. That's why you always put the stencil on while the person is in a natural position standing up, because once they stand up, the skin will adjust and change and it will look weird. So always make sure you put it on while they're standing up. So once they lay down, like whatever stretching they're doing while you're tattooing, all that don't matter. Just follow the stencil to a T. And so once they stand up, it will always come back to its original position. And sometimes as you go try to tattoo, you definitely get some different ideas, make some different changes, and change your approach. Like on this, once I got to the end, I definitely started to change my approach because I looked at how I did this end versus the end that I did in heaven. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's change the approach. And I think I just started using my 3 round liner in the beginning. Instead of I did the 7 round liner in the beginning, I'm like, no, it's a little more cleaner, a little more tighter, easier to follow the stencil. So I just started outlining my letters with the 3 round liner, coming back, shading in the letters. And that's why I started bouncing back to the end on that side. So I was like, okay, let me adjust, because you do want your letters to look perfect. And no such thing as perfect. I know it's no such thing as perfect, but you want to look as close and identical as possible. Because no lie, you could try to work hard with tattoos and trying to get perfect. You always will find some flaw. If you don't find it, someone else will. Because the camera sees things that your eyes can't see, so it will be a little flaw. But all you can do is do your best, and that's why you're going to catch me as I go throughout this whole tattoo, going back, going forward, going back, going forward. And remember when I said try to stay on heaven and then kind of adjust from there? Sometimes you do have to go back, but it's good I did 90% of the tattoo before going back, touching up certain things. Because if you see a problem, you got to fix the problem. You can't just see it and just leave it alone. No, we go back and fix that up. I believe I said before, like once you really get into the tattooing and you really like enjoying it and you really trying to do your best, you can't just send no any tattoo out. You want it to look best as possible to your eyes, and then from there, if you want to touch it up, you see something else, you can always touch it up. But sending them out the door, initially you want it to be sharp, best as possible, because that's another thing I would say is definitely a time saver to try to get it all done right then and there, than to wait and be like, oh, I'm gonna touch it up, I'm gonna touch it up. If the client can take the pain, go ahead and do it all in one go. And I told y'all the reason why I kept coming back. Like I said, you're gonna see some parts that stick, some parts that thin. And on that heaven, I definitely noticed there was a lot of thinner letters. That's why I said using that 7 round line initially, it was kind of a mistake. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not following the stencil exact. So with the 3 round line, you can exactly follow your stencil. I outlined the whole thing, make sure everything was there. And then I go back with the 7 round liner to shade it in. And each situation is different, because you think I know something like this better by now, but nope. It's still learning as we go, still learning as we go. But like I said, now I know I'm just going to go in with the smaller needle, outline it, and then come back and shade it in with the bigger needle, which those is 3 round liner and 7 round liner. That's another tip right there. I'll say try not to wipe the skin as much, because it's definitely painful on the client, especially once the skin get a little sore. So you don't want to constantly rub on the skin. So I just try to pat as much as possible. Also with green soap, I try not to use green soap until the end. Now I try to use water, keeping it swelling down by keeping the chemicals off the skin, because water, there's no chemicals in the water. Green soap definitely contains chemicals. So that alone is one way to keep down irritation on the skin. Ain't stress it enough. Once you wipe your tattoo down, always take a picture. Always take a picture. It don't hurt. You can always zoom in, look at it, see what you gotta tighten up, because I always find something. You see me looking, huh? Like I said, if you see a problem, fix the problem. So we back at it. I seen some issues, and guess what? We going back, touch it up. And definitely I used the 3-round liner when I was touching up the letters. Like I said, you could be a lot more precise with that 3-round liner. It's a lot more sharp, give you a lot more thinner line. So I was able to go back with that 3-round liner, tighten it up. Cause no need to do it with the 7-round. If you already got some thinner lines, it's just gonna make it bolder. You don't want that. Also, the 3-round line is better for that longevity. Like I said, we tattooing for 10 to 20 years from now, not just in the moment. And that's one thing that I'll say, that's definitely part of the customer service part as well. Because if your clients see that you're really taking your time, going over spots to know that you're doing your best possible to try to make it look clean. Most of my clients that really come to me, that really like come on a daily or the regular, I'll say they know that when I say you about to be done, you really not about to be done. You're about to be done, but we're gonna also have to go back and look over, have to touch up some spots to make sure we know we got a clean job done best as possible. So guess what? When your clients know that and they recommend people to you, they will also let their friends, family know that, oh yeah, he gonna make sure he do a good job. It ain't no question about, oh, if he gonna do a good job. You know why? He gonna go back, he gonna look over and make sure everything is there. So that's a good thing to build up that reputation for, to be known that you're not doing a half job. You know, you're making sure it's done correct. And as you do them finishing touches, you can feel comfortable and confident to say that you're done with the tattoo. Alright, I wanted y'all to see, now that we are done, I had the client stand up, and you see how the letters tend to fall in place versus they looked at wobbly when she was laying down because her skin was stretched.